Business theory. Hello guys, so this is a video on business theory. I've done something like this before, except it was kind of more about how we eliminate big businesses, and I'm not going to reiterate it. I also kind of talked about it in one of the other videos as well. I'm not a business major or something like that. Like, I'm not an intellectual on this topic, but there's some ways that we can equalize competition without eliminating the competition. So I just wrote a few things down real quick. I might have missed some things because I didn't plan this video out properly, but I'm just going to go ahead and say what I have on here. Equalize standards and location priority. So basically, like, sometimes people will go to different brands because they like the quality of the brand, but that's bad. Nobody's ever going to go to a low quality brand. They always want high quality, right? So the way to avoid that is everybody produces high quality stuff. The reason people should go to your brand should be subjective, not objective. Because when it's objective like that, the brand is better than everybody else, then 99% of people are going to avoid other brands and just go to the one good one. And that promotes a big business, and we already know why that's bad, right? It's only fair if everybody's able to get enough, not too much, not too little, but enough, right? So this is what this video is about. This is not about nobody gets rich. No, this is about nobody gets too rich and nobody gets too poor. So yeah, if we want to equalize competition, we also have to make sure everybody has a good standard so that nobody is forced to go somewhere just to get a better standard. And then once the standards are equalized, then the places people will go to will be based on their location or based on preference. If something is 90 kilometers away from them and it has the same standards as somewhere that's 5 km away, obviously they're going to go to the 5 km place, right? But sometimes you might have a preference for that 90 km place, but that's going to be rare, right? So that's what we need to do. So once the standards are equalized, then people can start going to local places. Localize and personalize ads. I know that most people hate ads, especially the people who are in the space of like, oh, we want the economy to be equal and fair and all of that. But for me, I think they're a good thing because they introduce you to things that you're interested in, especially when they're niche and they're tailored to your taste. They're not just a big business being thrown at you that you don't care about. They shouldn't be, right? I feel like, again, we should prioritize local ads. But if we can't do local, at least doing personalized is better than just throwing out a big brand and then giving those people more money rather than the smaller brands, right? So yeah, if ads can't be for local businesses, then they at least need to be personalized. And the reason why I say local businesses is because a lot of businesses people go to are not local to them. So we do want localized ads, but we have to start from personalized ads, okay? Ads themselves are kind of unreliable because the person who pays the most money will get more ads. I believe that everybody should have to pay a set price and they will get to the people who are interested in that field. So about competition, another way is offering things that are unique to the competition. So with grocery stores, right, a lot of the time people will just go to the one who has the cheapest price for things, or sometimes it's about the freshest produce. But again, we want our quality to be as equal as possible, right? So that's not a good thing either. We want to offer things that are unique, that make certain people attracted to it. Not everybody, but the people who want to be attracted to it. Not just the cheapest price, but the best deal for the person themselves. So this is a good example for me, okay? This is what I used in the last video that I made about this kind of topic. So store A sells cereal for $5 and eggs for $3. Store B sells cereal for $3 and eggs for $5. Let's assume all quantities are the same. If you buy one of each from either store, they're still $8. The point I was trying to get at by making this statement is that the combination deal is a good deal, not that each one charges $3 for certain items, right? So unless you're buying a huge amount, you're not gonna deliberately go to the store which has X for $3. I will say though, as a brand, make sure you give your customers reasons to come to you, right? I do believe in brand loyalty and people sticking to the brands that they like and they know, right? But at the same time, if you don't offer any kind of familiarity or some deals to incentivize your customers to come back to you, especially if you're more expensive than the competition, then they're going to be kind of pushed to go elsewhere just to save a few dollars, and you don't want to be that brand, right? So do try and kind of entice your customers with deals. You don't have to try too hard, because the people who want excessive deals on your items aren't really there for the product, okay? They're there to get wholesale. If somebody bought from you, maybe a 10% off coupon, maybe less price if they purchase in store, stuff like that, just to incentivize people to stick with your brand, right? And to kind of make it feel like you're making them feel like family, right? And that's always a good thing to do, especially as a local business, because then people will be attracted to you just for the hospitality, even if they think, oh, your prices are a little bit high, but you guys are so hospitable, you guys are so helpful, so therefore it's worth coming to you, right? Yeah, I know people say brand loyalty is kind of a bad thing, but for me, it's a good thing, especially when we're dealing with local businesses and stuff like that. You don't want to be hopping from place to place just to get a better deal. Yes, there's always going to be somebody with a better deal, but what about the personal connection you have with the people at the shop, right? And again, like, it's the store A and store B thing. If you buy both from one shop, you're probably going to get a better deal than if you just jump from shop to shop looking for the cheapest price, right? And I know brand loyalty is good for businesses. If you were a local business, right, would you like it if somebody said, oh, well, the competition offers this price, so therefore I'm going to go there? No, you wouldn't like it, right? Sometimes, even if you're a brand loyalist, it is better to go to other brands, but you do want to, for the most part, kind of try and stick to where your heart is, right? Okay, so yeah, I know that this was not the longest video, and also I know that I'm not somebody who studied these things, so maybe this is not as polished as it should be, but that's my video. Bye!